we have been taught that we should go, the economies of scale rather, the economies of scale would push us toward very large central station base-loaded generating systems, 1,000 megawatt electric. This seems to be going counter to that. What, do you have any idea of the economics of this?
The problem is you increase the efficiency of the system, so you reduce the cost, the overall cost. Also, you have the participation of the consumers, that right now the consumers, they are passive. So you receive the electricity from the grid with the price that is set by the utilities companies, the local one, which is usually only a single one in the area, in most of the area. The reason is that the overall system, the efficiency, is less than 30%. So you have the steam turbine generators, they have efficiency probably 35, I am not the expert in that area, 35 to 40%, no more than that. Probably that is the range. You have about between 12 and 15% on transmission line losses. So you multiply that with 90%, so you get 40% to 36%. You have other probably even much higher on distribution system. So you multiply 36 with other 90, you get 30. And you have the consumers. You multiply again with 95 if you like, and still you are getting something. The other thing is, most of the transmission, the high voltage transmission lines, they have a limited capacity to transfer electricity. The old actually they have. Most of them, they are in the upper level. So you cannot transfer more than they are already transferred.
I guess
so if you need everything if you move everything closer to the consumer, you reduce the losses on transmission line, you may use some additional resources, or you may use something, example, heat, that it's usually right now used to heat the building, a campus or some other. So you increase the overall efficiency of the system, so you reduce the cost.
At least in the winter, not in summer.
Sorry?
At least in the winter.
At least in the winter. Yes, if you use a combined heat and cooling generation, the whole system you may use also reduce in the summer. The idea was to move to a larger system because if you have a local generation and base, you cannot build a very large power plant, to example, to provide and to have enough backup power for a city like Fairfield, a small city, because it's that investment is not making any sense. So the system became unstable. How I mentioned 100 years ago, when we have a single light and the return, that was okay if I have 3 hours no electricity or 4 hours. Right now, everyone, you have tons of appliances, electronics, everything. You want to have electricity 24 hours and that to be stable all the time. So that was the idea we made. The other thing, the price of the fossil fuels at that time were insignificant. The security of the supply was in 70s, before the 70s, when was the first oil crisis, nothing was happened. The price was like 10 or 20 cents per barrel, or $1 a barrel. So right now it's 100. And you may have.
This just seems like this is pushing the cost of this, again, economics, down to, say, me, the consumer. Now, like Jeff, I have 10 kW generator at my house.
But you don't use it for continuous use.
No, but
and it's not continuous. But if presuming it could be continuous, getting it to play with the grid, the utility grid, is a lot of equipment.
That means demand side participation.
Yeah.
That means if the consumer is involved, but in my view, that will be beneficial for the consumer.
I have a system at my house. A radio signal comes to my house. My air conditioner is told to cycle.
Turn off.
Well, not to totally turn off, but to cycle to reduce its load, even though it means my temperature in my house is going to go up. And that's a system that's in place in Connecticut, where the radio's received in my house, and it basically cycles my compressor on my air conditioner.
Yeah, I have that also. That's summer. I'm thinking more winter when I don't have anything.
Yeah, well, but the problem is the summer, as far as the grid is concerned.
Oh,
in terms
you mean
of capacity.
load-wise?
Yeah. In addition, you and I have generators. Wouldn't it be nice if we could get a radio signal to tell us to turn on our generators to help the grid?
I think Apple has an app for that.
Well, but that's the kind of cooperation they're talking about, but they have to be willing to pay us for the cost of running those generators. And
The
right
other
now,
more
that's a political and
important
economic
things to
issue.
do is the demand side participation. So that will be in the same in conjunction with the liberalization of electricity market. That liberalization for sure will have in many European countries you have a different price during the peak hours. You have a different price during the night, and it's usually much lower. So that they shift the demand during the peak period when they need for businesses, schools, for running the transportation system during the
That's
night.
the argument for the electric hot water heaters.
If you have everything that will be your participation, you may decide, example, if you have much smarter appliances, to do some like dish washing, drying, or some other during the night.
Yeah.
But we don't
That
have
to
that
do it.
two-tier,
Oh, yeah,
pricing
oh,
structure.
actually, in several areas of the country have
Yeah.
time of day pricing.
I don't.
But that's up to the public utility to push that to the, all right. The other issue is how much the utility pays to the distributed source.
That's what we don't have.
Right
demand.
now, if I can supply electricity, they buy it at the wholesale rate, then when I buy it back, I buy it at the retail rate, and it's a total loss.
One of the issues with the renewable energy prices of electricity, usually the company are selling you at higher price and are buying from you the electricity at lower price.
And that really hurts the economics of building a distributed source.
Yes.
Question?
It's not a whole lot lower, but it is lower.
Gas turbine power generation here for campus. Okay? It's a Mercury
Generating
6
CO2.
megawatt machine. I've been told that during the time that we are not using the gas turbine cannot be connected to the grid, deliver electricity to the town of St. Fairfield. Do you know why?
It actually did during Sandy.
Because they're idiots.
As far as
Probably,
I know, if today we are not using it, the town, the Fairfield University cannot sell electricity to the town of Fairfield.
Townhouses
I
are.
don't think it's
No, no,
any
it delivers
technical.
to townhouse, but once we are not using it, we cannot sell and make money. And I don't know, I've asked them, they said, That's not
That's
allowed.
utilities don't want to pay us
The
the actual
utility,
price.
they want only to sell the electricity. They don't need an excess of electricity right now because probably they don't have any incentive to
But-
buy that
But when
electricity.
the emergency hit, we supplied power to Fairfield to help keep some of the areas of Fairfield up.
I've been told it's for technical reason, and I don't know why.
I need to know a little more details to figure out, but I am 90% sure that it's, the utility decision is based on economical and not technical reasons. Maybe it could be 10%, but once, how you mentioned that when was emergency, they accept that power.
Well, yeah, but during
I
Sandy,
probably
we were
it's
supplying
very
power to
unlikely to be
Fairfield, to keep part of
technical
Fairfield
reasons.
going. But that was on an emergency basis,
I'll ask.
and we didn't get paid for that.
Most of
I
the
would like everyone to join me in thanking the speaker. And